So, 2020 was an awful year. Unless you were living under a rock, I don't see any reason to explain why. However, the music actually really wasn't that bad. The charts were filled with some pretty good jams across the pop, dance, rock, and all kinds of charts, really. Except for these songs, really. Keep in mind, this is all my opinion. Flame wars and all that. I don't want them. I would love to see your comments on any of my, like on this video or on my social media. I'll put that in the description and at the end of the video. So please enjoy. This list, by the way, is non definitive, so it could change down the road. It probably won't, but it could change. You never know. And there's not really a lot of rules for this list aside from they would have to be released this year, or at the earliest they would be released like late November of 2019. Basically late enough last year so that their first week of radio airplay is this year. So that means stuff like Adore You by Harry Styles wouldn't be making the best list because that was way too early. But there is some 2019 stuff on here you'll see. So as long as it charted somewhere and as long as it was released late 2019, very late 2019, or 2020, then it's fair game. So without further ado, let's count down the worst songs of 2020. Number 10. Now, number 10 is complicated. I have four songs here. The reason I have four songs is because they all sound exactly alike to me. These four songs are Falling by Trevor Daniel, Cradles by Suburban, Deathbed by Pal Fu, and Angels and Demons by Jaden. I'm going to go over these songs just a little bit, just like a little brief introduction. I would think that if you listen to one of these, you listen to them all really. Maybe like they all have their own quirks, but with falling just doesn't make a lot of sense to me because apparently it's supposed to be a love song, but it sounds just like a breakup song. Now, a lot of these songs have the quality of being like two lazy verses written and sung just in that lazy like I swear all of these sound like that. The verses all sound alike. And then that catchy chorus, like whether you have the Angels and Demons one or the Falling one, Falling I guess the hook is kind of the verse. I don't know if that's really the I don't know. I don't really know if Falling has a chorus technically. Come to think of it, which is interesting, but anyways, yeah, these choruses or these hooks or whatever get into TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, and that's how they got popular. I have no problem with music becoming popular because of social media, and I actually love that because I found some great music this year and other years from social media. Like, for example, this year, I really got into La Dispute from Emo Kids TikTok. If you don't know, La Dispute is they're a American pop punk, kind of like a post hardcore kind of thing. If you know bands like Touche Amore or Pianos Will Become the Teeth, then you'll probably really like La Dispute. The song that became pretty popular was a song called Such Small Hands, Nobody Not Even the Rain. It's a really cool, song. So I would definitely say check that out. But aside from that, TikTok has definitely given familiarity to some really cool bands over the past few years it's been active, or cool artists, I guess. I also found 100 gecs on TikTok, and to say I'm a fan is like an understatement. I actually really like 100 gecs. With good comes bad, And these kind of songs are making like the mainstream. They're in the trending. Angels and Demons, I kind of ranted already about it, but Angels and Demons by Jaden Hossler. Jaden Hossler is a TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, whatever, star himself. It's pretty much the same exact song. The verses sound pretty much alike. Like, I can't really say that much about it. The hook is something, I guess. I saw a lot of girls dancing to this song, so that's something. By the way, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but most of the words he spits out end up sounding extremely slurred, including the "fun me like a rock star" phrase. Now, I don't know if it was supposed to be, I don't know if he was supposed to say "fuck me like a rock star" or if it's actually supposed to be like "fub me like a rock star." But I watched both the music video and listened to both the track multiple times. I can say with sheer confidence that he does say "fuh me like a rock star" and not "fuck me like a rock star." In the censored version, he says "love me like a rock star," which is more acceptable. Now, Deathbed by Pal Fu, this one has a sample that I'm not a huge fan of. I guess it works. This sample is from Beabadoobie, a indie artist from the UK. She's released multiple EPs over the past, few years. She's pretty good. I actually only heard of her through this song. I became a fan of her. So there's another positive. TikTok is bringing light to amazing indie and post hardcore artists. Thanks, TikTok. But with good comes bad. It's just a sad boy rap song. Powfu wasn't a good rapper or anything. He just sounds like a discount 21 Pilots. And then Cradles by Suburban. This song, um, I'm so glad it died out. I don't hear this song anymore. I don't think I've heard this song aside from the research I did of it for like months. It's crazy. And I actually do watch TikToks a lot. Like just to see what's popping with the kids. I mean, I basically am a kid. I'm only almost 20, so technically I'm a kid, but like I can't keep up. Yeah, this guy, this Suburban guy, I never even bothered to do much research on him, but he is a very, very bad singer and rapper. The trap hi-hats are mixed way too loud and they're way too frequent. And the worst part about it, I think, is the drop. The music box drop, it just sounds janky and like it sounds like the mastering is fucked. It's about 50% louder than the rest of the song. One thing I will say about the song that's good is the cool guitar chords and effect pedals that are used for this one in like the main verse. The way the guitars just kind of they just match with the vocalist so well. They're almost out of tune in a way, but it matches well because the singer is so horribly off key. But I like the guitars a lot. Those effects really showcase the fact that the song's a dumpster fire burning, spreading all around my room. Number nine. Number nine is gonna be an interesting one. Number nine is "I Hope" by Gabby Barrett featuring Charlie Puth. Look, I like this song. It's a good song. I might be one of the few people that really likes Gabby Barrett's voice. And I wouldn't say like really likes as in adores because it could be better. Like it could be mixed better, it could be equalized better, whatever. She could get more experience, of course. I don't see that big of a problem with her voice. It kind of strikes me kind of like in between Miley Cyrus and Rain Maida from Our Lady Peace and a little bit of Bob Dylan maybe, and kind of like that Carrie Underwood throaty thing. And that Carrie Underwood reference comes up a lot because this is Gabby Barrett. She was an American Idol contestant at the age of 18 or 19. She had like a big voice. She had the Carrie Underwood thing going on. She was influenced by Carrie Underwood. She did many Carrie Underwood covers on American Idol. So yeah, the comparisons are fair to Carrie Underwood. Also, she looks a lot like Carrie Underwood. I will agree with one thing with the statement that the guitars are kind of weird sounding. A lot of people did think that. I think it's a nice chord progression and everything if it's a song well. Sonically, the song sounds pretty cool. Lyrically, I also like the song. Of course, there will always be the comparison between I Hope and Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. Many people stay those comparisons. Of course, there's no denying that Before He Cheats is a better song lyrically, but I Hope succeeds as well as a revenge song, and I think can truly be relatable to anyone suffering a breakup. And though the song is extremely bitter, there was no, I think there was no better time for this song to have been released in 2020, the year of bitterness. However, there's one problem, okay? There's one problem, okay? Charlie Puth is a talentless hack. Charlie. Charlie, why? Charlie. Charlie. Remember when Charlie Puth was a bad musician? And then he started making really good music. Charlie sounds way worse than ever. He's lathered with autotune. And he does absolutely nothing to change the song or the meaning. Aside from change the pronouns. I know this is blasphemous to say, but I strongly believe, and this is not a joke, but I strongly believe that the song Charlie Puth did with Meghan Trainor, the Marvin Gaye song, was way better than this, at least sonically, because at least Charlie sounded okay on it. Charlie's voice just clashes with Gabby's here when they're both singing the chorus. And live versions is even more apparent. Of course, I'm talking about the studio version, but the live versions are much worse. I also noticed that this version is mixed a bit weaker. It's just mixed, in the style of a Charlie Puth song. Say what you will about Gabby's voice in the original, but at least she had power there, especially in the chorus, because that chorus is just really everything. Even though, yeah, it is a bit of a weaker chorus, and it could been a bit more powerful. It comes off as flat in this new version with Charlie singing over it now. The award for the most useless remix of 2020 goes to the new Deftones album. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a song. Number 8, Bang by AJR. Now I want to make this short because I could go on a rant about AJR. Every time these guys come out with a new single or a new album, I already know automatically that I have to, and most critics have to, open up a space on their list just for this, just for one song. Anthony Fantano had to do that. Luke from Rocked, from Crash Thompson, all these great critics. The thing is, I think they could make good music if they want. I think they're talented, but the label is so out of touch. They just strike me as the kind that are forced by their label to make this kind of shit. Anyways, I'm not even gonna get into that. Look, when 100 Days came out, I had a space open for that. Really, the only reason this song isn't, say, number 2 is because I didn't think it was as generic or as pandering as 100 Bad Days or even like Sober Up or anything from the Click or Neo Theater. Even though I say that, I think this song deserves to be on the list proper as much as all those other songs do. This song is awful sonically with those 3 piano key instrumentals it's based off of, and it sounds like it was written by a broke university student that decided to write a song about only being able to eat ramen for lunch. Such an awful attempt at making a quirky song, more likely forgettable than 100 Bad Days. Number 7, Savage Love by Jason Derulo. Savage Love. I have a interesting relationship with this song and Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo is discount Chris Brown. I say that because he's a talentless hack. He has no good songs. He gets way more praise than he should. The only thing really not as bad as Chris Brown is just the fact that Jason Derulo has never, publicly harmed a woman. So I'm aware I had a category above decade to TikTok songs, but I don't think this song fit with that theme, especially because those are sad boy rap songs, and this one is like a, I don't even know what the hell this is. I don't even have anything unique to say about this one. The haters already shit on him for stealing the beat from Josh 685. Compare this to another Jason Derulo song. I'd say this is maybe the worst song he's ever released. The beat is generic, the awful, underwhelming hook hit, the annoying synth tone. I do believe this is worse than Trumpets, Talk Dirty to Me, and What You Say, even though, oh god, the last one, dude, with that Imogen Heap sample. And I love Imogen Heap, but oh my god. Yeah, that's an insane low. The fact that Jason is somehow still on the charts in 2020 terrifies me, especially since I don't know one person who at least likes one song by him. Hopefully in 2021 we can do better than discount Chris Brown making terrible TikTok music. Number 6. Pop Star by Drake. To say I have an interesting relationship with Drake is an understatement because I loved his mixtapes. He has so much great music. He has done so many great collabs with artists such as Nicki Minaj, Future, but what has happened the past few years to Drake? My god, between Views, Scorpions, and whatever this is, I know I should be putting the blame on DJ Khaled because this is by DJ Khaled. This is like produced by DJ Khaled, and this song is on the charts due to star power alone. I don't think DJ Khaled did anything on this song other than like press one button and say another one. What am I supposed to say about this? It's so the beat is so lackluster between those two synth notes. I easily could have produced this in grade 9 in music production class on Fruity Loops. Drake just sounds tired. Like he sounds like he's been up for hours on end. He sounds like he did in that Future song with Jumpman or whatever it's called. Jumpman, 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 Jumpman. You know the song. He sounds like he did in that one, but even more tired. Like he, you know what? There was a critic that actually did say something about him basing it off of that one weird ass song that went viral years ago. If I can find it, I'll put it here. It's that one. But that's exactly what he sounds like. Like, did they sample that? I've never heard anybody sample like a song like that. If you sample another viral song like Never Gonna Give You Up or Dummy to Casita or something, I would understand, but that I'm pretty sure that's what they did. I will never understand the appeal of DJ Khaled aside from his quirky personality and Snapchats. I really have absolutely nothing to say. I'm sorry. I am torn. Number 5, If the World Was Ending by JP Saxe and Julia Michaels. Now, to start, I don't know if I'm saying that first name right, but I'm almost positive I said it right because I don't care. Because he will never have another hit again. This guy is awful. At first, I didn't really know if I needed to put this on the actual list, but I decided to for a few reasons. The main reason is because sonically, this song is so useless, so ingenuine. I don't know who this JP Saxe guy is, like I mentioned, but every word is like nails on a chalkboard, especially his high notes. I could compare this guy to like Chris Martin or Sam Smith, but I would way rather compare him to Passenger. Although, yeah, Passenger is a trained artist. I don't think JP Saxe is because those high notes, he's barely hitting those high notes. And this song is so bland. Like, I remember years ago, just when I started getting into pop music, actually actively listening to pop music on the charts and stuff, I remember when these kind of songs were very popular, like these dreary songs. They're kind of dying out to like trap and big hype pop songs. I think we're kind of having like the 2011 2012 EDM revival again, honestly. That whole thing was like huge, with your Avicii's or whatever. There was still dreary songs then, but the dreary songs I mean are the Nash songs and like that one Machine Gun Kelly song with Camila Cabello and stuff. Like those kind of dreary songs. Sean Faye Wolf said a lot of what I could say. These songs are good for emo kids to put on their Spotify sad playlist between Stay With Me by Sam Smith and I Won't Give Up by Jason Mraz. They provide no substance, no reason, or absolutely all the same. They're just there for Spotify clicks and views and stuff. I'm not even getting into the pandemic related situation either. Sean Faye Wolf kind of got into that, but I don't feel comfortable getting into it just because based on that's me, that's just me, but also because this song wasn't released in the pandemic. It was released before we knew about the thing being a thing. It was actually released in October of 2019. And yeah, that's past my cutoff date because I would consider my cutoff around December. The only reason I'm putting it on here is because it gained no traction until the pandemic started, ramping up. So this song literally got on the charts due to pure luck. And how it got onto the charts is beyond me because it's so boring. It's so dreary. How this song got radio airplay is beyond me. Number 4, A Little Bit Off by Five Finger Death Punch. I sure love chugging Monster energy drinks while driving with my son Kyle on my Chevrolet 2007 Silverado. I'm going to punch some drywall while I listen to some goddamn Five Finger Death Punch and bow down to the gods Kid Rock, Fred Durst, Phil Labonte, and Ivan Moody. Woo! That's all the appeal this song has. Maybe not even, because how do you do this to a song like that? This is easily the worst thing this band has ever released. This is worse than any of the covers they've released, like the Gone Away cover. It's just so edgy for the sake of being edgy. It doesn't even have any good instrumentals to make up for it, like something from their first few albums had, or even Trouble or whatever. Even the covers had good instrumentals, for fuck's sake. So the same couple chords. The whole thing is revolved around Ivan being pissed off and feeling like shit. Ivan really can't write a decent song anymore, and the entire F8 or Fate album showed that. You can tell that this album will probably be the fate of them. I had no good joke for that. But number 3, History of Violence by Theory of a Deadman. Hey guys, going to sleep. Oh, Theory of a Deadman is so boring. I don't need to review that tomorrow. I don't need to review that ever. Oh god, sorry guys. This release was just so boring. I don't know what to say about it. This whole album was boring as hell. I might as well do the whole album review sitting down because it's probably gonna get like this for the next few picks. We're only in number 3, holy shit. If a number 3 pick is making me fall asleep. What's at number 2 and number 1? Number 2, Anti-Socialist by Asking Alexandria. And the award to the most boring and weirdest style change ever goes to Asking Alexandria. Congrats. I was quite big on Asking Alexandria's late 2000s and 2010s metalcore style. However, when they started going for that more overproduced mainstream style in their 2017 self-titled album, which was the album that their lead singer Danny Worsnop joined on again, they kind of started losing me a little bit. Sadly, with their newest album, Like a House on Fire, that only solidified the statement. I don't know if I'd exactly consider them trend hoppers like Bullet for My Valentine, but they certainly did not develop their sound as well as Bring Me the Horizon. By the way, Bring Me the Horizon is a great band. Even That's the Spirit, I thought was a very good album. I really only got into them recently though. That new Bring Me the Horizon album is top tier, like one of the best releases of this year by far. Now, if we go back to Anti-Socialist, I think a big part of Asking Alexandria's sound was Danny Worsnop's great voice on those early records and his ease of switching between unclean and clean vocals. However, I don't hear any of that good stuff on this song. In the verses, Worsnop sings in this awkwardly nasally voice that sounds somewhere halfway between a modern Adam Levine and Burn Cummings. I don't know how else to put it, but that's how. I don't know. Those are two names I never thought I'd put in the same sentence. In the rest of the song, however, it's mixed so poorly. All the instruments just clash into this big wall of sound. It's not pleasing to hear at all. Then there's those lyrics. Good God, I knew the style change was supposed to lead to a more mature sound, but with those types of edgy lyrics, I really don't understand what they were trying to go for. In the end, this band really needs to try harder. I know they are able to. I'm one of the few people who thinks Danny Worsnop can write a very good song when he wants to, but the last two albums really did not show this. I hope to see these guys in a best list down the road when they're able to try again. But unfortunately, this is the most disappointing release of this year. But it was not the worst. But before we get to number one, I just have some honorable mentions or some dishonorable mentions. These are not ranked in any order, even though I'm putting like numbers or whatever. I'm just putting them on here for good fun. So Intentions by Justin Bieber and Yummy by Justin Bieber. They're both terrible songs. They sound bad. They're produced bad. They're lazy songs, boring songs. I originally had Intentions on the list, but I had like literally nothing to say about it. I was also lost for words on those two songs. I mean, I would have more to say about Yummy, but I thought Intentions was actually worse. So there's your only ranking I'm putting on there. Also, the next one is 10,000 Hours by Justin Bieber and Dan Shay. Now, I actually think this is one of the better songs on the list. It's not offensively bad. I'm not a huge Dan Shay fan. Personally, I think they're very forgettable. I don't understand how this was a hit aside from the star power. It was literally star power, which is a common trait for this year, apparently. Just like the next one, which is Grease by DJ Khaled and Drake. It's just a bad Drake song, nothing special. Hard to Forget by Sam Hunt, who is a boring bro country artist who had a massive hit with Body Like a Back Road that I can't say I hated or loved, but I lean more toward the hate side. While I don't think this is worse, I could see why people would think so. I'm putting it on here because it's the most sexist song I've heard this year, probably aside from any of the 6ix9ine songs, who is also on this dishonorable mentions list. Trolls by 6ix9ine, Nicki Minaj. I had no idea what to put for a 6ix9ine song. It was so hard to put a 6ix9ine song on here. Should I put Goomba? Should I have put... I don't know. He had so many songs released this year. It was hard to put. But I decided to go with Trolls because I'm actually one to defend Nicki Minaj. And even the Nicki Minaj stuff sucked here. What the hell? But yeah, 6ix9ine is a terrible human being. City of Angels by 24kGoldn. This song I would have also put on the TikTok songs list, but it's not really a sad song, so I'm putting this in just honorable mentions just because it's a boring song. I did really like Mood though, but City of Angels just didn't do anything for me. Tootsie Slide by Drake. Boring, 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 boring. I had absolutely nothing else to say about this song except for boring, 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 boring. Whoop-dee by CJ. This one would have probably slipped under my radar had it not been advertised to fuck on YouTube and overplay. Usually I don't get overplay to distract from my rankings or anything like that, but this is the exception this year. I could not stop hearing this song. What is the appeal of this? With lines like blue cheese, I am addicted to blue cheese. It reminds me of that Blueface guy. And even Blueface has more appeal because at least he's funny. Blueface wasn't good, but he was funny. This CJ guy, it's just like a bad Mo Bamba, which is saying something. We have I Love Me by Demi Lovato. Most disappointing comeback of 2020, I guess. I don't know. I had absolutely nothing to say about this to put on the list proper, but I don't think it actually deserved to be on the actual list. And last song on the dishonorable mentions list is Come and Go by Juice WRLD and Marshmello. I am in an enviable position, to say the least. I am sorry, but this time it isn't Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD has the best part on this song. This time it's like literally all down to Marshmello. Marshmello is, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say he's a hack of a producer. He ruins every song that could be good. Like that Bastille song, I didn't mind that song. The A Day to Remember song, I was beginning to like that song until Marshmello's drop comes in. The Churches song, I actually like that song. And then Marshmello decides to come in and he just ruined the song. Like, Marshmello, what the hell? Anyways, yeah, it's Marshmello. It's not Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD is good. I like Juice WRLD. So, with that done, we're going to get into number one. I just want to state first that I have no ill will or any hatred for what this artist has done. They've helped bring back the popularity of a genre that I absolutely love, which is pop punk. With their release of their album this year, I listened to it multiple times. I was actually surprised it wasn't that bad. Yeah, there was bad tracks on it. There was a lot of bad tracks on it. But there was good tracks on it too. There was some weird interludes on there. I'll say that much. But you don't even know what album I'm talking about, do you? The album I'm mentioning is Tickets to My Downfall by Machine Gun Kelly. Number one is Forget Me Too by Machine Gun Kelly and Halsey. This is going to be extremely controversial, but I don't even care. This song just flat out ruined the album for me. The whole album was maybe a decent 3 out of 5. Maybe. My reaction was just so negative towards it. I know you're asking what's so bad about this that it makes it worse than Bang or Anti-Socialist, History of Violence. I think it's the complete lack of effort from any of the parties involved, only to make a quick buck. Honestly, this year was very hard to find something as bad as 2019 or 2016. There was just so much good music this year. I could have had just about any of the singles from the album because, I did have a higher opinion about them earlier, but listening to them more just showed me how terrible they were. Especially the Black Bear song. Like, that song just comes off as awkward because the flow just, what the hell was that? And Concert for Aliens, like that song, it just kind of bored me. It's like a mediocre song. I don't know why it needed to be a single. It did have its highlights, don't get me wrong. Its lowlights are really bad, especially this one. I give much respect to Machine Gun Kelly for, trying to repopularize. I mean, it's not a dead genre, but it's not as popular as it was. With Paramore trying something new, My Chemical Romance not making the same kind of music, you know. A lot of those other bands, like Fall Out Boy, for example. Fall Out Boy is a good example of a band that kind of deserved their sound for a more mainstream pop approach. I give much respect to MGK for trying something new, but this song is a mess. There's just no way around it. It just feels unfinished. Halsey and Machine Gun Kelly do not have any chemistry together. Guitars and bass sound extremely fake. They clash, and the production falls extremely flat. Even Travis Barker on drums couldn't lift up this song. I would recommend Halsey to open her mouth wider when singing this type of music. During her really whole career, I would say, her style has been indie pop artists, you know? And a lot of indie pop artists, as much as I like them, and yeah, it is a style. And I'm guilty of this too. And like most of the music I do sing is pop punk or whatever. I have a thing with not opening my mouth as wide as I should be. Having your mouth open wider or less wide has a lot to do with dynamics, etc., etc. You know, control, vowel control, consonants, all that. Whenever Halsey sings, she always sounds like she's slurring. This song is a really good example of that. Both Machine Gun Kelly and Halsey sound off pitch in multiple parts of the songs, especially when they're trying to sing together. There's multiple points where you can't understand what Halsey's saying. Machine Gun Kelly actually does a pretty good job of pronouncing his words. There is sometimes on this album when you can't really understand what he's saying either. It's definitely not as bad as Halsey. I don't know if it's a thing with her producers or how she was trained or whatever. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of her in her older stuff either, but I'll say she's more suited for that style than she is for this kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of points where you can't understand her in those older songs either, but I don't think lyrics are like one of the main points of focus in her kind of music. I think it's like instrumental, but with pop punk, Machine Gun Kelly's album was so generic, so four chords, so you know, so it's so there that you had no choice but to listen to the lyrics. And what you got from them was this generic, just I've said generic so many times that I have no other word for it. Another thing with Halsey is that you can hear extremely distracting vocal imperfections as well. And while these vocal imperfections make sound genuine, they don't in a produced context like this. So the voice cracks just come off as annoying. I will give this song credit though. It wasn't as bad as 2016's Bad Things featuring Camila Cabello. Talon Shadows pretty much said everything I can say about that song in Warren review. It was in his worst songs of 2016. But a recap, it featured a sample of the 90s song Out of My Head by Fastball. It didn't fit the song, had horrible harmonies from Machine Gun Kelly, and off pitch vocal layering, and was just a boring schlock of a song to get through. Overall, the reason I give this pick a number one, it gave me the most to talk about and was definitely the hardest song for me to listen to this year. We need to do better than this. This year was incredible for music, but it had so many downsides too because of the current state of the music industry and, you know, the thing. Can we please just say fuck off to these songs and fuck off 2020? Fuck off 2020.